Could Jaylen Watson be on the move? Welcome into this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. Tyler Schultz here with you. Thanks for joining us. Pro Football Focus has named corner Jaylen Watson as the top player on the Chiefs trade block. And according to PFF, they are of the belief that Watson could potentially be on the move sooner than later. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what Pro Football Focus had to say. The Chiefs are known for keeping their core starters in place, particularly on defense, but this offseason has been fraught with change. That includes at cornerback with the signing of Kristian Fulton, which might not leave a clear future for a player like Watson. Watson's 2024 season was limited by a broken leg, but he was a standout cover man with a 71.6 PFF coverage grade. However, Kansas City has several other young cornerbacks, including Jamari Conner, who is more of a slot option, Joshua Williams and Najee Johnson. All of Watson, Williams, and Johnson will be 2026 free agents, but Watson could be the most valuable if traded. I completely disagree on the premise that the Chiefs should be looking to shop Jaylen Watson and move on from him. And the point that I go back to, did we not learn anything from last season when Jaylen Watson went down with the broken leg injury and just how disgusting, how terrible this corner room was for the Kansas City Chiefs in the second half of the season, that they were searching for any option that they could, and they were just waiting, hoping, praying that Jaylen Watson would make a return, which he did for the postseason. And to me, it was one of those situations where I was sitting there saying to myself, like, this guy is extremely valuable. He played well prior to the injury here. I just don't see why you would be looking to do that at this point beyond potential money situation, and we'll discuss that here in just a bit. But this is a real head-scratcher to me, especially considering what we just witnessed a few months ago. Do you want Jaylen Watson to stay? If so, like the video. Let's let our voices be heard loud and clear and get at least 500 likes on today's video. Let Brett Veach know that we're not interested in moving on from Jaylen Watson whatsoever. If you agree with me and want Watson to stay, hit that like button. We'll continue here on the Chiefs Report. Think about this, all right? So you got some help at the corner spot in free agency with the addition of Kristian Fulton, all right? And now you've added some serious depth to that corner spot. What was the point of bringing in Kristian Fulton and adding depth to that position if we're just going to fast forward a couple of weeks later to trading Jaylen Watson when we solved one issue and now we are creating another problem here? To me, those two things don't add up for the circumstance that Kansas City is in, unless you are saying, well, you bring in Fulton to replace Jaylen Watson. But think about this, all right? If you go over the depth chart, this is the scenario that I see playing out for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. I think Trent McDuffie is moving back to the nickelback's position, which is not a demotion, by the way. He's just better at that spot, and some could argue that it's a tougher position to play. Then you have two starter caliber outside corners holding things down in Jaylen Watson and Kristian Fulton. You still got Conner there and Williams and Johnson, and now I got some bodies to work with. So if there's an injury or if this team is having some guys that aren't performing to their caliber, their expectations of what we think they should, then you can change some things here. You have strength in numbers this way. And moving on from Watson right now, that defeats the whole purpose of what you were building and trying to fix in this offseason at the corner position with the lack of depth that you had in 2024. So to me, that's just something that doesn't add up, a head-scratcher when it comes to that. Now, we'll go over some potential trade destinations and break down everything you need to know about Jaylen Watson here in just a moment. But let's ask you guys, do you think a trade is going to happen? Is this realistic, or is Pro Football Focus just blowing this out of proportion? You got two options here. Type T for trade, P for pass. Will they, not should they, but will they trade Jaylen Watson away in the comments section and let us know. We are bringing you Kansas City Chiefs content each and every day here on the Chiefs Report with our daily news and rumors, live shows each and every Tuesday. We also have breaking news that we're bringing you anytime the Chiefs make a move. If they trade Watson, if they sign another player, whatever it may be, we'll bring you a video as quick as we can here on the channel. We are your one-stop shop for all things Kansas City Chiefs. We recently passed 70,000 subscribers, and I cannot wait until we get to 100,000 subscribers, but we need your help to get there. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. Never miss a moment. Lock us in for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV to subscribe now. And let's get at least 20 subs off today's video. I don't think that's asking too much. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Jaylen Watson, what a story. This guy was a 7th-round pick back in 2022 out of Washington State. He's been a part of 2 Super Bowl teams, and he's been very consistent. The last 3 seasons, even with him missing significant time in 2024, he's had 3 straight seasons with 6 pass breakups here for the Kansas City Chiefs. And you take a little bit further look at his numbers, they don't tell the full story of his impact of what he's been able to bring to the football field. He's not somebody that's going to haul in a ton of interceptions, but he is going to be an impact player and a difference maker. You take a step further and look at the coverage stats from last year, and you can see the QB rating allowed, very good number, just a 73.3. And by comparison, when Johnson and Williams were filling in for Watson in that role when he was injured in the regular season, the quarterback ratings that they were allowing were over 100. So pretty impressive on that front. Gave up a completion percentage around 61.4%. I can live with that. 657 yards. Just some very good numbers on that front. Now when you talk about the financial terms, this is where it gets interesting for the Kansas City Chiefs that they have to ask themselves. Can you pay both Jaylen Watson and Trent McDuffie? Because obviously, McDuffie, the All-Pro, is going to be the priority if you have to choose one to keep. You're not letting Trent McDuffie walk out that door. And I've seen some people that are starting to get nervous about Trent McDuffie when it comes to his contract situation because we haven't really heard much about an extension at this point in time. But I would tell y'all, be patient, just like we saw the Chris Jones situation play out, Trey Smith, Nick Bolton. They are going to get a deal done with Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie's not leaving. But Watson on the other end, we'll see. I think that step one is take care of McDuffie first, and then you try to figure out Jaylen Watson and go from there. His trade value, I think, is about a 4th-round pick at this point. L'Jarius Sneed, you got a 3rd-round pick for. Watson, I think you can probably get a 4th-round pick at this point in time because whatever team would trade for him would have to pay him on top of giving up assets and all that front. So are you better off with keeping Jaylen Watson and paying him, or are you better off trading him and getting something for him? And because he was injured for much of last year, I think that you pay Watson and you don't have to break the bank potentially as much as, let's say, he has a big year this year and then his price tag jumps up quite a bit. There's also the risk that maybe he gets injured again and you could essentially trade him now before his trade value goes down is the other factor that the Chiefs potentially have to ask themselves here. What about an extension? Should the Chiefs go ahead and extend Jaylen Watson right now, or would you wait till later? Type E for extend, D for decline. Weigh in that comment section. Let us know which way you lean towards. Get a great deal for Chiefs fans. Polos are on sale now for up to 50% off at chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos. Got the gray, got the stripe version, got the solid red for you. And they're all in one place. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos. Up to 50% off now while supplies last. We also have other Chiefs merchandise available at that same link. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Check it out today. Chatsports.com/Chiefs Polos to get yours now. Some potential trade destinations that come to mind right off the bat for Jaylen Watson if the Chiefs were to move on from him, which, let me be clear, I don't think they will, and I don't think they should. Number one is the Carolina Panthers, and for obvious reasons. This team had the worst defense in the NFL in 2024. They need all the help they can get. They have plenty of assets and plenty of money to spend, and you get him out of the AFC if you were to trade him to Carolina and send him to a team that's not anywhere close to contending by any stretch of the imagination. Then there's the Green Bay Packers, and with Jair Alexander out of the picture here, they are looking for some help in that corner room. They need to replace him, and although Watson isn't as good as Alexander, he would be a welcome addition for that Green Bay Packers team that is searching for some answers there at that spot. And then one more team I'll give you is the New Orleans Saints, and that has become the retirement home for some Chiefs secondary players now, with Tyrann Mathieu there, Justin Reed, and you look at what they've changed. Lattimore and a couple others, they're gone. They could use some help. That New Orleans Saints team, I think that could be a good fit potentially as well, and another team that's not anywhere close to contending by any stretch. What team will Jaylen Watson play for in 2025? I think it's the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think? Weigh in. Give me a team in the comments section below that comes to mind. If you enjoyed today's show, you want to see Jaylen Watson stick around, like the video. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here at the Chiefs Report.